Welcome to WebEx. Press 1 to be connected to your meeting.
Well, good afternoon and welcome, everyone. This is the City of Homestead Council presentation agenda. I'd like to call this gathering to order. I want to again thank you all for being here. We have a few very noteworthy presentations this evening before we convene our regular council meeting. And I believe I'm first up. Okay. As we're going to talk about later this evening, January is a big month for some noteworthy anniversaries, and so is 1923, a big year in this community. So I'd like to call up to have join me Ms. Colleen Clark, the Minister of Music and the Assistant Superintendent for Sunday School for the Church of God of Prophecy of the Homestead Branch. Welcome. So, next week or in a couple weeks in February, the Homestead branch of the Church of God of Prophecy will celebrate and recognize its 100th continuous year of existence in the city of Homestead. And I'd like to share this proclamation and read the whole thing. Sometimes we skip through the yada yada yadas, but I think every paragraph is important here tonight. So whereas the Homestead branch of the Church of God of Prophecy was established in 1923, and for a century, its various ministries have served the poor, the sick, the homeless, and the incarcerated. And the Church of God of Prophecy, through its 90 years of Christmas programs, has not only provided food and gifts to children in need, but promoted activity to raise the self-confidence of their youth and develop their speaking and leadership skills first in the church. And through the history of the Church of God of Prophecy, its members have worked, cooked, and labored to build not only but also to construct a permanent home for the church. And still, decades later, members still fondly remember the sherbet treats made and sold by Ms. Lily Mae Clark to help raise church funds for that building. The other dishes, such as pigeon peas and rice, potato bread, conch fritters, and conch salad, are all evocative of the early behavior roots of the church members. And whereas some notable pastors include Bishop Samuel A. Thompson through his work with inmates, and Bishop Eustace Clark, who repeatedly distributed fresh fruits and vegetables throughout the neighborhood to all in need, regardless of church membership. And whereas the members of the Church of God Prophecy have included teachers, city employees, elected officials, the Ficall Williams Sr. family, and the Alexander E. Roll family, and many current members are fourth generation and more in the church. And God continues to bless the Church of God of Prophecy of Homestead with much growth and grace. Now, therefore, I, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Homestead, do hereby proclaim the 11th day of February 2023 of the Church of God of Prophecy Day in Homestead, and urge all the residents of our community and communities across the country to support them on that Saturday and throughout the year. I want to present this proclamation to you, Ms. Clark, on behalf of the church, and I know you're joined by numerous members of your church family, and if you'd like to say a few words and invite them to come forward, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for this, and I'm going to invite some of the members that are here so we can take a picture. This is an honor, 100 years. To God be the glory.
Thank you. Come on up. We'll get here. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all that you do here. If only the rest of the night were so easy and fun.
Thank you. Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. I want to thank the fact that my family is in attendance. You all look so beautiful. Thank all you for being here. I also want to thank Councilman Larry Roth for giving me the opportunity to present this award. It's typically something that he does, so I really appreciate it. This one is home team, and it hits pretty deep. So I also want to thank the entire Homestead Police Department under the leadership of Chief Roll. You guys do an amazing job. Colonel Kennedy, he keeps council, mayor and council updated with all types of updates, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. He keeps us updated so that we always know what's going on in the city, and that is a very good way of maintaining transparency, and I think transparency is necessary when a city is trying to operate in the right direction. So I'm on vacation during the winter break, and I get an email from Colonel Kennedy, and it says they're responding to a victim that's on the rooftop of the Homestead Station garage, and he's thinking about taking his life. So you can just imagine what that person must be going through. So the victim has a friend call Homestead Police, and he says, please tell the police department I'm getting ready to jump. I want to end my life. Mental health is a serious issue. Seventh floor. This gentleman was on the 7th floor, and that ledge is only about 6 inches wide. So any sudden movement, this gentleman would have been off the roof. So Detective Guerrero is the first one on the scene to what's happening up there. And Detective Guerrero approaches the victim, and he approaches the victim saying, hey, listen, your life is valuable. You are important. You know, please don't do this. Let's have a conversation. And the victim immediately says, hey, listen, you know, thank you for coming up here, but unfortunately, there's nothing that you are going to say that's going to change my mind. The only person that I am willing to talk to is Sergeant Guzman. So it's an honor for me to be here to, you know, do this presentation so that we can recognize my older brother, Sergeant Bert Guzman, somebody that I deeply admire, I respect, I love. And I could understand why someone would want to speak to him. Bert Guzman has a heart of gold. He means a lot to this family. So they give him a call, and luckily, he's home and he's available. They tell him what's going on. Bert answers the call of duty. Now understand that Bert doesn't have that exact training, but one of the first things that a negotiator is trained to do is try to accommodate the needs of the person that's willing to jump. You're going to build trust when you establish that If you give me something, we're making the right steps in the right direction. So given that the request was an adequate request, it wasn't something overwhelming, the department decided to go ahead and call Bert, and Sergeant Guzman came to the scene. He comes to the scene. I can't imagine what he's thinking about. But he has a two and a half hour conversation with this gentleman. You see what I've been told, the emotions that are going through this gentleman, you can start to see that he starts to calm down. He starts to connect. Bert is building rapport with this guy. He's earning that trust with this gentleman who's about to jump. So Bert had to dig deep. Bert had to dig deep. I don't know where he got it, but I'm assuming God gave it to him that night or that day. Bert is a man of faith. He has made my faith stronger, so I know he dug deep and God gave him the words to help this gentleman come off that ledge. Bert must have shown humility, courage, adversity, all at the same time. It had to pour out of him to get this gentleman to come off. So somebody might think, how does Bert have the connection with this person? Why would he be singled out? And the person is mentored by one of Bert's close friends. That is why the person asked to speak to Bert. So when things like this happen, I think they should be recognized. I think they should be applauded. It's a heroic act. And not only does Bert do multitude of heroic acts in our lifetime and with our family, this is just another one that we get to highlight. I'm extremely proud. He means a lot to this family and this community. Thank you, Bert. Come on up. Bert, did you want to say a few words?
Thank you. Glad to have been in service. Glad to be there and to serve. Thanks.
All right, as we do with all of our officers of the month, he's being given a plaque that he can hang on his office wall or at home, and it reads as follows. Presented to Sergeant Engelbert Guzman for being selected for Officer of the Month for December 2022 from Chief Alexander E. Roll, Jr. Congratulations.
Can we also please have our colleagues come down and take a picture with what we call Big Bird? That's what we call him in the family, Big Bird.
Good evening, everyone. You know, Sergeant Guzman, he's real shy. But let me tell you a little bit why I brought him here. Back in the days at Homestead Senior, my wife was out there for many years. She was she was a school career counselor, and we used to go out to the games and watch this guy play football as a teenager. So years go by, and you know I become the police chief, and this guy comes in one day at the interview. And he interviewed for an IT job. So, you know, immediately I called my wife and I said, hey, you remember Bert Guzman? She go, yeah. I go, well, this guy just applied for an IT job. I said, well, you know, how's Bert now? She said, he hasn't changed. She said, he's the same slick talker. She said, he's so smart. But, you know, she said his brothers, they're a little different, you know. His brother kind of quiet and set back and everything. But he said, Bert will sell ice to Eskimo. And I laughed about it because I'm going like, Great. But anyway, to move on, years later, after Bert was doing in the IT department, he mentioned that he wanted to be a police officer. Of course, you know, I'm all about our homestead girls and boys. That's what I've been doing for 25 years, making sure I take care of the community, hiring people from this community. Bert came to my office and I said, hey, you know, you want to be a police officer? He said, yes, sir. The city found the money, and we sent him to the police academy. And this guy came out and became a police officer, one of the best. And then a couple of years ago, took the sergeant test. And I told him, he probably remember what I told him. I said, listen, I need leaders. I need a man to show these young guys and girls how to do police work. I need a real man. He said, I got you, Chief. I said, I got you too. Promote him to sergeant. That's who this guy is, Sergeant Guzman.
Can we also have our family come up, please? Come on up, guys.